God, faith, and transformation. It's approximately 2,000 words long. The Messenger in the Mist. The sun rose over the small, sleepy village of Eldenwood, where the mist hung low across the cobblestone streets. Among the villagers was a humble blacksmith named Thomas, known for his sturdy craftsmanship and unwavering devotion to God. Despite his hard work, Thomas carried a deep burden. His young daughter Clara had been ill for months, and no healer could cure her. One crisp morning, as Thomas worked in his forge, the sound of footsteps approached. He looked up to see a stranger cloaked in white robes, his face obscured by a hood. The man's presence exuded warmth, though his appearance was otherworldly. "Good day, Thomas," the stranger said, his voice calm yet commanding. Thomas paused. "You know my name?" The stranger smiled faintly. "I know many things. I come with a message from God." Thomas froze. The weight of his struggles made him skeptical. "Why would God send a message to me? I am but a blacksmith." "Even the humblest soul can carry a spark of divine purpose," the man replied. "Your faith has been tested, and now you must choose. Do you trust in God's will, or do you despair?" Thomas glanced at the cot where Clara lay sleeping in the next room. Her pale face haunted him daily. "I trust him," he said quietly, though doubt lingered in his heart. The stranger stepped closer. "Then you must undertake a journey. Beyond the hills to the east lies the Valley of Echoes. There you will find a tree with silver leaves. Bring one leaf back, and your daughter will be healed." Thomas's heart leapt at the promise, but fear quickly followed. The Valley of Echoes was said to be cursed, filled with shadows and whispers that drove men mad. "Why must I go alone?" he asked. "Faith requires sacrifice," the stranger replied. "And trust demands action." Before Thomas could respond, the stranger turned and disappeared into the mist, leaving only the faint scent of myrrh behind. Thomas prepared for the journey the next morning, packing provisions and tools. He kissed Clara's forehead and whispered a prayer before setting out. The path to the valley was treacherous, winding through dense forests and jagged cliffs. As he walked, he recited psalms to steady his heart. By the time he reached the Valley of Echoes, the sun had dipped below the horizon. A haunting stillness filled the air, broken only by faint whispers that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. "Turn back," the voices hissed. "You will fail. She is already lost." Thomas clenched his fists, his faith wavering. He fell to his knees and cried out, "Lord, give me strength." In that moment, a beam of moonlight pierced the valley, illuminating the silver tree in the distance. Its shimmering leaves swayed gently, as if beckoning him. Thomas rose and pressed on, but with each step, the whispers grew louder, dredging up his deepest fears. They mocked his efforts, questioned his faith, and reminded him of every failure he had ever known. When he finally reached the tree, he hesitated. Could one leaf truly save Clara? Was this task not a cruel joke? "God, if this is your will, let it be done," he murmured, reaching out to pluck a single leaf. The moment his fingers touched it, the valley erupted in light. The whispers turned to joyful hymns, and the air grew warm and sweet. Thomas fell to the ground, overwhelmed by the presence of something divine. When he awoke, he was lying at the edge of the valley, the silver leaf clutched tightly in his hand. The journey back to Eldenwood was quicker than expected, as if unseen hands guided his steps. As Thomas entered his home, he found Clara sitting upright, her cheeks flushed with color. She smiled and said, "Papa, an angel told me you were coming back." Tears streamed down his face as he embraced her. The silver leaf dissolved in his hand, leaving behind a faint glow that lingered in the room. From that day on, Thomas's faith became unshakable. He shared his story with the villagers, and their belief in God grew stronger. The stranger was never seen again, but Thomas knew he had been in the presence of a messenger. Sometimes, when the mist rolled into Eldenwood, Thomas would pause and listen, half expecting to hear that calm, commanding voice again. And though it never came, he carried the lessons of faith, sacrifice, and trust with him always. The end.